Hi, everyone. I'm Jack, and with me today is Elena.
Hello, everyone.
Today, we're talking about something really interesting, how to know the purpose of your life.
It's a big question, but we're going to explore it together, step by step.
Yeah, we'll look at some ideas from different thinkers, and hopefully by the end, you'll have some new thoughts about your own purpose.
Sounds good.
So let's get started. Let's start with Carl Jung.
Okay.
He was a famous psychiatrist who had some really interesting ideas about how to understand ourselves.
Yeah, Jung believed that finding your purpose isn't about, becoming famous or rich. It's about getting to know your true self.
Yeah, he talked about something called the shadow.
Right.
It's like the hidden part of ourselves that we don't always want to see.
Yeah. The shadow contains all the parts of us that we might not like, our fears, our anger, our jealousy.
And Jung said it's important to get to know our shadow because it's a part of who we are. And we can do this by paying attention to the things we judge in other people.
Oh, that's interesting.
For example, if you get really annoyed when someone is always late, maybe it's because you're afraid of being late yourself.
That's a great point. When we notice what bothers us about others, it can help us learn about ourselves.
Exactly. So getting to know our shadow isn't about becoming a bad person.
Right. It's about understanding all the parts of ourselves so we can become more whole.
And Jung believed that when we understand ourselves better, we can start to live a more meaningful life.
He also talked about the importance of taking action. It's not enough to just think about our purpose. We need to actually do something.
He said we should challenge ourselves to try new things, even if they scare us.
Right, because when we step outside of our comfort zone, that's when we really start to grow.
So Jung's ideas are a great starting point for thinking about our purpose.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about a different approach to finding purpose. Imagine you're walking in a beautiful garden. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and you feel very peaceful.
And you come to a path, and you start walking down it. As you walk, you see images from your life. Happy memories, sad memories,
Yeah.
everything in between.
And these images are like clues. They're showing you the things that have been important to you.
And you keep walking. And you come to a door.
You open the door, and you see a group of wise people sitting around a table.
They are holding a book. And you know that this book contains the secrets of your soul's purpose.
You can ask them any question you want about your purpose, your path, or your challenges.
And they will listen to you with compassion, and they will give you guidance and support.
This is a visualization, a way to connect with your inner wisdom.
It's like a guided meditation that can help you find clarity and direction.
Of course, this is just one approach to finding purpose, and it might not resonate with everyone.
But it's a good example of how we can use our imagination and our intuition to explore our inner world. Now let's talk about another interesting concept that can help us connect with our purpose. Have you ever heard of the North Star?
It's a star that's always in the same place in the sky. For centuries, sailors have used the North Star to navigate because it always points north.
Right. But the North Star can also be a spiritual guide.
It can represent our higher purpose, the direction we are meant to be heading in.
So how can we connect with the North Star and use it to find our purpose?
Well, first you need to find true north. You can use a compass or an app on your phone to do this.
Okay. Once you know which way is north, stand facing that direction and take a few deep breaths.
Close your eyes and imagine the North Star shining brightly in the sky.
Imagine a beam of light connecting your forehead to the North Star. This light represents a connection between you and your higher self.
You can ask the North Star for guidance, or simply allow yourself to feel the energy of this connection.
Some people find that this practice helps them to make better decisions and to feel more aligned with their purpose. You can also try automatic writing.
This is where you sit down with a pen and paper and just start writing whatever comes to mind. Don't worry about grammar or spelling. Just let the words flow.
You can ask the North Star a question before you start writing. Or you can simply see what comes up.
Sometimes the answers we're looking for are already inside of us. We just need to find a way to access them.
Okay, so we've explored some pretty mystical ideas so far.
Let's bring things down to earth a bit and talk about the practicalities of finding purpose.
Yeah, it's great to have these big ideas and visions, but how do we actually make them a reality?
Well, the first step is to get clear on what truly matters to you. What are your values? What brings you joy? What are you good at?
These are important questions to ask yourself because your purpose should be something that aligns with your values and your passions.
Think about the things you're already doing in your life. Your job, your hobbies, your relationships.
What's the most important thing you're working on right now that could be a clue to your purpose?
It's also helpful to think about what you want to contribute to the world. What kind of impact do you want to make?
Maybe you want to help people or make the world a more beautiful place, or simply make a difference in your own community.
Your purpose doesn't have to be something grand or world-changing. It can be something simple and personal.
The important thing is that it feels meaningful to you.
Mm.
So how do we figure out what our purpose is?
Well, there are a few different approaches. One is to simply ask yourself what you want to do with your life. What would make you feel fulfilled and happy?
Another approach is to think about your skills and talents. What are you good at? What do you enjoy doing? Maybe your purpose involves using your skills to help others, or to create something beautiful.
You can also try brainstorming a list of all the things you're passionate about. Then see if there are any common themes or connections between those passions.
Sometimes our purpose is hidden in plain sight. We just need to take the time to look for it.
And remember, it's okay if you don't know your purpose right away. It's a journey of discovery, and it can take time.
The important thing is to keep exploring and keep asking yourself questions.
And don't be afraid to try new things and step outside of your comfort zone.
Because sometimes the best way to find our purpose is to simply start living our lives with intention and curiosity.
And to be open to the possibilities that come our way.
I think those are some really great tips.
Now let's talk about a specific exercise that you can try to help you connect with your purpose. Imagine you're having a conversation with a wise friend or a mentor,
Someone you really admire and respect.
and you ask them this question: what do you think my purpose in life is?
And then you just listen to their answer.
But here's the important part. Don't just listen to their words. Pay attention to how you feel.
What sensations do you notice in your body?
Do you feel a sense of excitement or peace?
Or do you feel a sense of resistance or doubt?
Your intuition is your inner guide, and it can give you valuable information about your purpose.
If the answer your wise friend gives you feels right in your gut, that's a good sign.
But if it feels off or doesn't resonate with you, that's okay too.
It just means you need to keep exploring.
Now, what if your wise friend gives you multiple answers? What if they suggest 3 or 4 different possibilities for your purpose?
That's actually a great thing because it means you have a lot of potential.
But how do you choose the right path?
Again, it comes back to your intuition. Which answer feels the most aligned with your heart?
Which one makes you feel the most excited and inspired?
Trust your gut feeling and go with the answer that feels the most right for you. This exercise is a great way to tap into your subconscious mind and to access your inner wisdom.
And it can help you to gain clarity about your purpose and to make decisions that are aligned with your true self.
So I think we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our discussion.
We've talked about the importance of understanding ourselves, connecting with our intuition, and taking action.
We've also explored some practical exercises that you can try to help you discover your purpose. But we're not done yet.
In the next part, we're going to delve even deeper into the concept of purpose, and we're going to talk about how to create a life that is truly meaningful and fulfilling.
So stay tuned, and we'll see you soon.
Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Welcome back, everyone.
It's great to be here again.
So in the last part, we talk about a lot of different ideas about finding purpose. We talked about Carl Jung and the shadow self.
We talked about guided visualizations and the North Star.
And we talked about some practical exercises for connecting with your intuition. Now I want to talk about something that I think is really important. And that's the idea that purpose can change over time.
Yeah, that's right. Our purpose isn't set in stone. It can evolve and grow as we do.
For example, when I was younger, I thought my purpose was to be a writer. I loved to write stories and poems, and I dreamed of publishing a book.
That's a wonderful dream.
But then I started working in a different field, and I realized that I was really passionate about helping people. So my purpose shifted from being a writer to being a helper.
And that's perfectly okay. Our purpose isn't a destination, it's a journey.
And sometimes the journey takes us in unexpected directions.
The important thing is to stay open to new possibilities and to be willing to let go of old ideas about who we are and what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I think it's also important to remember that purpose doesn't have to be something grand or impressive.
Right. It doesn't have to be about saving the world or making a lot of money.
Your purpose can be something simple and personal,
Like being a good parent or a friend.
or making a difference in your community.
Or simply living a life that is full of joy and meaning.
So don't put too much pressure on yourself to find the perfect purpose.
Just focus on living your life authentically and following your heart.
And trust that your purpose will reveal itself to you in time. Now, I want to share a story with you. It's about a woman I know who was feeling really lost and unfulfilled.
Oh, what happened?
Well, she had a good job and a loving family,
Hmm.
but she felt like something was missing. She didn't feel like she was living a life of purpose.
I think a lot of people can relate to that feeling.
So she decided to try something new. She started volunteering at a local animal shelter,
That's wonderful.
and she absolutely loved it. She found so much joy in caring for the animals and helping them find new homes.
It sounds like she found her purpose.
She did. And it was something she never would have expected. She thought her purpose had to be something big and important. But it turned out to be something simple and humble.
And that's a really important lesson. Our purpose doesn't have to be flashy or impressive. It just has to be something that fills us with joy and meaning.
Exactly. So if you're feeling lost or unfulfilled, I encourage you to try something new. Volunteer at a local organization. Take a class. Travel to a new place.
You never know where you might find your purpose.
Now I want to talk about another important aspect of purpose, and that's the idea of taking action.
Yeah, we've touched on this before, but I think it's worth emphasizing.
It's not enough to just think about our purpose or to have a vague idea of what we want to do with our lives.
We need to actually take steps to make our dreams a reality.
And that can be scary. It's easy to get stuck in our comfort zones and to avoid taking risks.
But if we want to live a life of purpose, we need to be willing to step outside of our comfort zones.
We need to be willing to fail, and we need to be willing to keep going even when things get tough.
That's right. Purpose is not always easy. It often requires hard work and dedication.
But the rewards are worth it. When we live a life of purpose, we feel more fulfilled, more alive, and more connected to something bigger than ourselves.
So how can we start taking action?
Well, first, we need to identify our goals. What do we want to achieve?
What steps do we need to take to get there?
Once we have a clear idea of our goals,
Mm-hmm.
we can start breaking them down into smaller, more manageable steps.
And then we need to take action. Even if it's just a small step, every step we take brings us closer to our goals.
And as we take action, we start to build momentum,
We start to believe in ourselves.
and we start to see that anything is possible. I think it's also important to surround ourselves with people who support our dreams.
That's right. Having a supportive community can make a huge difference.
When we have people who believe in us, it's easier to stay motivated and to overcome challenges.
So if you're feeling stuck or alone, reach out to your friends, your family, or a mentor.
Let them know what you're working on and ask for their support. Now, I want to share a personal story with you. A few years ago, I decided to start my own business. It was something I'd always dreamed of doing, but I was terrified.
Oh, what were you afraid of?
I was afraid of failing. I was afraid of what people would think, and I was afraid of the unknown.
Those are all very common fears.
But I knew that if I didn't take action, I would regret it for the rest of my life. So I took a deep breath, and I jumped in.
And what happened?
It was hard work, but it was also the most rewarding experience of my life. I learned so much about myself, about business, and about the power of taking action.
That's amazing. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. And you know the best part is, I finally feel like I'm living a life of purpose. I'm doing work that I love, I'm helping people, and I'm making a difference in the world.
That's wonderful. And it's all because you were brave enough to take action.
Exactly. So if you're feeling called to do something, don't let fear hold you back. Take action and see what happens. You might be surprised at what you're capable of.
I think that's a great message to end on. Take action and be surprised.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this part. We talked about how purpose can change over time. We talked about the importance of taking action. And we shared some personal stories about finding purpose. In the next part, we're going to wrap things up and give you some final thoughts and tips for living a life of purpose. So stay tuned for part 3.
We'll see you soon.
Welcome back to our final part.
We've talked about a lot of things today.
We talked about Carl Jung and the shadow self, and we talked about the North Star and finding practical ways to think about your purpose.
We even talked about taking action and making your dreams a reality.
So what does it all mean? What have we learned?
I think the most important takeaway is that finding your purpose is a journey. It's not something that happens overnight.
It takes time and exploration.
Yeah, and it's okay if you don't have all the answers right away.
In fact, you probably won't.
Yeah, the journey is just as important as the destination.
And along the way, you'll learn so much about yourself.
You'll discover your strengths and your weaknesses, your passions and your fears.
And you'll start to understand what truly matters to you. I think it's also important to remember that purpose is not a fixed thing.
That's right. It can change and evolve over time.
As you grow and change, your purpose might shift as well.
And that's okay.
What matters is that you're living a life that feels meaningful to you. So how can you live a life of purpose?
Well, first you need to be true to yourself. Don't try to be someone you're not.
Don't let other people tell you what your purpose should be.
Listen to your heart and follow your own path.
Second, be open to new experiences.
Step outside of your comfort zone.
Try new things. Meet new people.
You never know where you might find your passion. Third, don't be afraid to take risks.
Failure is a part of life. It's how we learn and grow.
So don't let fear hold you back from pursuing your dreams.
Fourth, be patient.
Finding your purpose takes time.
Don't get discouraged if you don't figure it out right away.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep growing.
And finally, remember that you're not alone.
Everyone is on a journey to find their purpose.
So reach out to your friends, your family, or a mentor. Share your dreams and your struggles.
And support each other along the way.
Well, that's it for today's show.
We hope you enjoyed our discussion about purpose.
And we hope you feel inspired to go out and find your own.
Remember, you are capable of amazing things.
So believe in yourself and follow your heart.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.